Hello and welcome to the second testing session for Season 2 Universal Orlando Cup Series. We are back at Daytona, and this is going to be very exciting. We're going to have 28 cars that are on track from the previous 25 from the first testing session. 3 new drivers have been added onto the list. I'm hereby joined with the Season 2 champion, Kris Wascher. How are you doing?
Very good. It's very, very good to be back at Daytona, a track that we all know and love. Uh, I have relatively bad history at this track, but I came out champion anyway, so who cares? But this testing session should be a very good one because we have a bunch of new drivers coming in, and they'll be able to showcase their stuff for the new season.
Yeah, and your brother Dish is going to be in the testing session for this one while you're up on the booth, which is good, even though it will say your name, but Dishwasher's taking over this testing session, so we'll see how your brother will do. But in the meantime, Seth Cole is out on track. He was one of the guys that barely made it through the final wreck when we had our first testing session, but Seth is driving in one of his new schemes in the 52 for the Season 3 season. This is the Bioshock Burial at Sea car, the PS3 also on there for Tween X Racing. Seth Cole obviously returning in the 52, and obviously this is going to be very interesting to see and all that to see how Seth will do for Tween X Racing. And also, his Tween X Racing teammate Alex May is back out driving the Dishonored car. This is another new scheme for the 30. We'll see one other scheme from the 4 schemes that he'll be running, so it should be very interesting. And there's his teammate right there. We'll get to him in a little bit there. There is Kyle Miller, as you just saw right there as I'm trying to get to him. There we go. Kyle Miller driving the 2014 Smithfield Ford for Richard Petty Motorsports. Like we mentioned before in the first testing session, it's a one-car team because the 9 car is a Chevy. So we'll see how Kyle Miller will do. There's Michael Walton driving the 2014 Fastenal Ford Fusion. Michael Walton, one of those guys that's trying to make a name for himself, trying to make his NRSL comeback. Last time, like we said in the first testing session, he was in NRSL competition, was Season 2 Outback, so it should be very interesting there. There's the champion there. Well, I should say the brother of the champion, Dishwasher. And Kris, I heard you got to talk to him before going to the testing session as he's driving the Shark Week Great Clips car. What'd you tell him coming into this session here?
Well, Dish is becoming a very good race car driver as more races he competes in and more testing and all that. He currently has a win in the ARCSA Light Series, so he definitely knows how to at least win a race. But this is the super speedway thing. He hasn't really have much experience with these super speedways, and it's very, very awesome for him to see him in the 7th place. So doing really, really good. And all the way from Germany, doesn't really have some super speedway experience there. So pretty proud of my brother right here. That
So, and you told him before what'd you tell him before the testing session? I heard it was very interesting there.
yeah. If you didn't know already, Dishwasher's starting up the Fourth Reich in Germany. So he has a lot on his plate.
So we'll see how
Yeah.
it will be for Dishwasher in this one, and Grace is going to be keeping an eye on that 5 car big time throughout this testing session. Dylan Young is going to be driving this brand new scheme, the Chicago Blackhawks Ford Fusion for Penske Racing, as this is a very nice car. I want to thank Seth for making that, and thank all the people who've made schemes for the guys who are in this field. Seth Cole, Joseph Finesto, Devin Becker, is there a few examples there. They ran some really good schemes and are paying some good schemes, so it should be very interesting once they are going to be placed out onto the field.
Yeah. Yeah, if there's one thing that's behind the sidelines that we have to think, it's the painters. The painters basically, without the painters, we'll be just running these generic cars that came with the game. And as the series becomes more evolved, people are bringing in new sponsorships, new numbers, new teams, and without those painters with the NRSL community, people just be sticking to the regular numbers and paint schemes, and some people, no, kind of don't like it. They want to make their own paints. So with the painters, this series definitely became big as a whole.
As Dishwasher's coming on the pit road, there's Ian Dettas. We were stuck with him for about a few more laps, but that's all right. We let Kris talk, which is good. driving the Moffat number 32 for Tweenix Racing. This is the second and only other scheme for Ian Dutta. Very nice scheme,
Yeah,
simple blue and white, but it's going to be very interesting to see what Ian Dutta could do, making
yeah, we,
his second season in the Cup Series. Jackie
yeah,
Tang running the Aflac car for the fictionals for the 81. Maybe we'll get some Delman on there if we can find it, but Jackie Tang, trying to see what he can do, and he is currently fifth fastest right now, but we'll see what the Aflac Toyota Camry can do. There's
yeah. We
Anthony.
kind of disowned Ian since last night.
Interesting, too. There's Anthony Ritchie driving the McDonald's Ford Fusion. Ironic because I worked there too. But Anthony Ritchie driving the 38 car. We'll see how he can do. And still wondering who that teammate's going to be. And I'd be the same curious question to be if I were Ritchie too. Who is going to be
Yeah,
my teammate? And there's still a handful of time left to go to figure that out.
yeah, and Richie, he hasn't been involved in more series as before as now, cause he's in this series as well as my own NCG Morass Vogelwood Cup series. He's driving the 3 car in that, and during testing, and he's got the hang of it. So with this testing session, it'll help him with the duels coming up later on today.
And look who's finally out in the testing session. I forgot to put in the first one. Joshua Balkin finally makes his debut in it. Sorry, Joshua. But anyway, Balkin is driving the 91 Mountain Dew Code Red Ford Fusion for Balkin Motorsports. I believe that is the name. Correct me if I'm wrong, Joshua. But he's going to be driving 91. He says his goal is just to make sure, put a name out for himself, and show why he's going to be not only Rookie of the Year, but possibly a champion, too. And that's a bold statement, too, by the 91.
Yeah, that's what Kris Wascher did. That's what I did.
There's
Rookie.
Kyle Sosnowski, who was the fastest on track, and he's fallen back to third. This is one of the other schemes that he'll be running besides the Hooters car. This is like one of the one-time race deals that, or two, depending on what it is. This is the Filter Red Bus car, driving the number 7 Ford Fusion there. As my phone is ringing, I'm going to ignore that there. Driving that 29 right there in front in the blue Coors Light, that is Nick Smith in the 29. Jessica Shelton, like we mentioned before, drove that car last season, and now Nick Smith is getting the honor of driving that car, teaming up with Jessica Shelton. So this should be a very interesting duo both of them have, and they get along very well, so we'll see what both can do. We go back there. There is Trent Dunham in the Sun Chips Chetafanga's car. Still waiting for that movie to come out, too. That's going to be very interesting.
Yeah.
But the star in there, Trent Dunham,
Yeah.
driving that wheels off the number 1 car here, and we'll see if Cheta can get his way up to the top.
Yeah, and take a look all the way in the back there. We have the Joseph Vanessa car. Something we never seen before.
A
It's
Maserati.
a Maserati.
Maserati is
Maserati.
going to be making its NRSL debut, and I asked Ernesto, why Maserati? Why? And he said, well, we want to bring something new to NRSL. I would be more than happy to bring a new manufacturer, and, well, he did. Remember, Anthony McCurry last season brought Audi, and that was the only other manufacturer we had. Chevy, Ford, Toyota, and Audi. Now,
Yeah,
we got Maserati, and there's another new manufacturer. We'll get to that in just a little bit. And
yeah.
we'll see how Ernesto can do. And currently, I just realized how fast is he right now? He's 21st fastest. He's not doing well, but he can pick it up the pace,
Yeah.
though.
And Maseratis are very, very popular in Europe. You don't really see these cars in the Americas. So he definitely had some he definitely had some plans worked out in Europe in the car company there. And I think he tested it out in some European tracks, and that's how he basically got this Maserati deal. And speaking of that new manufacturer, is Stephen Pollard out on track yet?
I believe he is. We'll get to him in just a little bit, but there's Cole Daly returning to the 80 as usual, driving the 2014 National Guard Chevrolet. Cole Daly trying to make sure that this season is going to be a reminder of what not to do last season, because last season he did complete shitty, somehow made the chase from the LCQ, and, well, you get the gist. Shitty. So, Cole Daly's new goal, survive. Survive and finish well. That's going to be the main goal. Oh, boy. There's Clint Spillman driving the number 10, the 2014 GoDaddy Chevrolet. Spillman got involved in that wreck on the final like minute or something, nearly there, when practice was over. Same with Austin Talley. So we'll see how both of them can do. There he is back in the McDonald's Mac Tonight car. Talley will try to redo his chances on his testing session and not wreck out. There is Dylan Potey in the Caterpillar car. Now, this is a different Cas, my frame for. Oh, there we go. This is a newer Caterpillar that he made himself with the red 31 on there and his usual sponsors that are also on there. Gray Clips, Dollar General, Target, also on the Caterpillar car. And he'll be running the other Caterpillar car, too, that Ryan Newman has. But this is the one that he likes. Elias decided on the pit road. There's Eugene DeMax back in that familiar Ford Mustang that he drove last season. That was very famous. That's a very awesome ride that he made right there. And this is the first time Mustang made its debut too. But this is the only Mustang car he had besides the Fusion. He said he'll swap out between Ford Fusion and Ford Mustang. But he enjoyed that Mustang. And couldn't you agree though, Chris? Because you drove by it a few times and you said some interesting things about it.
Yeah, that Mustang's pretty fast. It's nice to see some muscle cars starting to come in the NRSL, and the Ford Fusions and Ford Mustangs. There's not much difference in that grille. All it has is the same logo. These cars basically run the same, so they basically can draft the same, work the same. So if they see a Ford, it doesn't matter who they are. They can draft perfectly well with it. It looks like Eugene Max is trying to draft that Toyota right there.
Yep, that's Tony Blazer right there in the DQ car. Tony Blazer making his NRSL return, like I mentioned. Hasn't been around since Season 1 Outback, so a lot of rust going to be in that 97 car. And I don't know if you've known about Blazer, but this is going to be the big guy to keep an eye on for returns. And it should be very interesting to see what Blazer can do. As there's Seth Gold, there's Anthony McCurry in the 61 Audi for Caltech Racing. Back in that familiar ride right there. Also in that Rolex number 61, the newer one. And Anthony in the RS4. Trying to see how that 61 car, still waiting to go to victory lane. So we'll see how that Audi can do. There is Cody Lamas. Oh man, back in that 48, driving the 2014 Lowe's Chevrolet. And it's good to see Cody back in his familiar ride. Brody Talley in the 2014 3M4 Fusion, the brother of Austin Talley. Brody has been doing pretty good in the testing session, and in the first one he did pretty good. Didn't get any wrecks and stuff. In the second session, he is currently 15th fastest, so we'll see how later on he can do to fix it up. There is Angel Navarro in a brand new scheme, the Wendy's car. This is a brand new scheme for the 23 team, brand new. So we'll see how that car will be as Dylan Poteet's coming back out of pit road. So we'll see how Navarro can do. And there is Jessica Shelton and Alex May. Jessica Shelton driving that fictional Chase Elliott car, which this is the one I like a lot. It's got blue, yellow, tiny bit of orange and all that. Very nice car. Thanks NN Racing for that, whoever did it. But man, this is an awesome ride there. And let's see who else in the field. Poteet. There's Michael Norman driving the Cheerios for the 3 car for RCR, I believe it is. Or no, Michael Norman Motorsports. My apologies there. Michael Norman Motorsports driving the number 3 car as usual. Michael Norman trying to see what he can do. Try to surprise a few people and try to see if the 3 car can go to victory lane for the first time ever in the Cup Series. As we're going through the field, and there it is. There's the other new manufacturer. Stephen Pollard III in the 06 Mobil 1 Jetta Volkswagen. Yes, Volkswagen will make its debut.
Why do I have to need to punch someone right now?
I don't know. We got some smoke. We'll get to Pollard in just a second. Oh, it's back on 3. We'll get to that in just a little bit. I just was wondering what was going on. There's Tang. But anyway, Pollard the third in the 06 Jetta Mobil 1 car. This is going to be Volkswagen's debut. Pollard the third, this is his return. This is his second season. He replaced. This is actually his first full-time season, I should say. He replaced Luis Hernandez 8 races in. And he made the LCQ and did decent, but he says he wants to make a new change. Comes into the 06 with the Mobil 1 Volkswagen. So, Chris, you've seen this car before in the NCGMRS Volkswagen World Cup Series. How would you think this car will be heading into the series?
Well, let's see. So far in the testing and the practice and even in the Miller Lite shootout for the Volkswagen World Cup Series, he's been kind of hanging in there. He hasn't had terrible luck. He's kind of staying midfield, which on these super speedways, it's just not a bad thing if you're trying to start off the season really well. But I think come to the when it comes to the Daytona duels and the Daytona 500 for the World Cup Series. I think he's gonna just step on that Volkswagen and just like rape the field.
Rape it indeed, but there it is. That's a look of it, and that is a Volkswagen Jetta. So let's try to see if we've who else we have not covered yet. Let me see through the list here. I believe we have covered everyone. I could be wrong though. Oh, we have not covered James Qualls in the 20. James Qualls driving the Panhandle. There we go. Qualls driving the Panhandle 20 car. And we'll see how Qualls can do. He is currently 8th fastest out on track. It should be very interesting for Qualls. Let's see who
Yeah, and
else.
with that draft he's gonna catch, he might get up. Yeah, might not get eighth anymore. I think he's gonna pull up there. Now they're starting a 4-car pack.
Yep, and I believe we have covered everyone. Let's take a look real quickly as we're going to take a quick commercial break to see what happened on turn number 3. Why is it? Well, we were looking through to see what happened. We couldn't find it, but now we did. This is what happened. Kyle Miller is going to lean on Ian Detta right there, and this is unfortunate too. And this was not a smart move by Ian Detta to lean on Kyle Miller.
It's actually payback for him challenging us to do the Ice Bucket Challenge.
Oh, and Dylan Young, nowhere to go, just nails the 43 Smithfield Ford Fusion. Now, the main thing I'm curious to know is anyone going to hit these three? Because the first testing session, when 2 cars did this, they got hit easily by the field. Young's going to slide into Miller. Miller's going to slide around again. That is sliding down on track. I think no one is going to hit them. I could be wrong, though. Well, actually, here these guys are.
Looks like they're going to keep it clean.
I think so. We literally got away with a 3-car incident. And these 3 get around Kyle Miller, and wow, that is a tough break, though. That is just... that's unfortunate.
That's what Ian Dilla gets for nominating us for the Ice Bucket Challenge.
I know. 25th fastest was Kyle Miller, 7th fastest was Young, and Ian Dutta was 2nd fastest at the time. That is a tough break right there. That is not going to help them at all. But we wanted to show what happened to these 3 guys, and let's take you back to live action in the testing session. Alright, we're back as we were trying to find that incident what happened, but now we found it. That's a very interesting incident, though. As we're going to find our fastest car, and I believe we were there. It was the 97. And, oh, wow. We got to, actually, before we go to 97, this is a good pack we got. That's Spillman, Austin Talley, Tony Blazer, James Qualls, Dishwasher, Eugene DeMax, and Joseph Ernesto. And the Maserati is going to try to see how it will be in the pack. So this is a very interesting thing. Also, top-notch designs with the sponsor for the Maserati, so it should be very interesting. His own paint company on there. And currently we have on time nearly 7.5 minutes left of practice till it is over. Ernesto's really not gaining ground. He is 27th fastest. He is the second slowest car on the field. Trent Dunham is the slowest. If something ain't right with that 62 Maserati.
Well, let's just take this time to sponsor a TV show coming up on the NRSL Sports Network, The Real Housewives of Compton. What happens in the ghetto stays in the ghetto. Up next on the NRSL Sports Network.
Interesting. But anyway, here's your fastest car currently on the field. Tony Blazer, wow. He's been running in the 45s because of the draft. And look at his last lap, a 45.061. But his best lap was a 45.004, nearly in the 44.9s. That's incredible. That's one fast car.
And now he's getting a draft, so he's going to be even faster.
Absolutely. That draft is really going to help him. And, oh, look at this. Dishwasher. Wow. What a surprise. Dishwasher is going to get the fastest car right now with the 44.996. We got our first car in the 44s.
Take a look at that. Dish, I'm proud of you.
Your and look, they're catching up to Kyle Miller, Trent Dunham, who's the slowest, and Cole Daly. Daly's 21st, and Miller 22nd fastest.
Doesn't help with that little... Oh! Take a look at. Wow, that's the biggest pack up. That's the
Oh,
big.
now we got a new
Oh,
fastest car. That's Dylan Young in the 2. Where's he at? There he is. And Michael Norman, another 44.9 car. Young with a 44.929 and Norman with a 44.984. He's got in the draft Ian Dutta, Jessica Shelton, Alex May, Norman, and Michael Walton. That's a very interesting 5-car pack. Let's see if we can find any other packs. I believe, yeah, there's a 3-car pack. Tally, Richie, and Lamas. And then there's McCurry and Seth Cole. They're trying to make sure they get the clean air and all that. Trying to swap. There's Onesto. Man, he's not getting that draft at all. This is our big pack so far. And they are gaining ground a little bit on Dunham, Miller, and Daly. So it should be very interesting what Dishwasher can do. Michael Walton is now the 4th car who gets into the 44.9s. Very interesting there for the 99. Where is he at now? Okay, there he is. He's with Young and Norman. No surprise. This is another 6-car draft. So we got 2 6-car packs. The first one containing Alex May, Jessica Shelton, Michael Walton, Dylan Young, Michael Norman, and Ian Dutta. That's gonna be odd. I'm gonna have 2 Michaels in there. Oh, this is gonna be fun.
oh dear God.
As Anthony McCurry's on pit road, and then you got the second 6-car pack with Austin Talley, Tony Blazer, James Qualls, Clint Spillman, Dishwasher, and Eugene DeMax. So it should be very interesting. And these guys, though, they are closing very slowly and carefully on these 3 cars. So it should be very interesting. Is it like right now it's Daly, Dunham, and Miller at the time. Now Miller's going to go underneath Dunham right there. And now Dunham is actually 22nd fastest. Who is the slowest out on track? Oops, I pushed the wrong button. It's Onesto. No surprise. The car is really not going well.
No, that Maserati is not doing good, but it's like a testing run for them. So I guess this is good for them in some sort of way, so they can take that shop back, take that car back to the shop and make it better.
Yeah, this is their first ever testing session in the Daytona race, so this should be very interesting. As we got less than 5 minutes left to practice at the time currently on the clock, we have 3 minutes and 40 seconds left of practice, and James Qualls is now the fastest car in practice. Nope,
Ooh.
making Austin Talley now a 44.694. Wow, we are really shredding the 44s. Could we see a 43-second lap? But there's only 3.5 minutes left. And look at this now, Dylan Pote. He's going to be one of the guys that's in this pack now. Holy crap, we're going to have a pack now. Oh boy, this is going to be good. They got Pote, Kyle Miller in the pack now. And they're going to catch up with Dunham and Cole Daly. It's going to be in the pack. This is going to be good for them, guys. And oh, Dylan Pote's slowing down Talley, and Spellman's going to go down to pit road. That's going to slow down DeMax. And it's going to be separated into very few small car packs. Beautiful. Good job, DeMax. Checking through the field. Let's see how Pollard is doing. He is 20th fastest out on the track for the Volkswagen, doing better than Onesto. And Balkan is 13th fastest. Good job for his debut there. Checking on the debut drivers there and all that. As there's a few more cars heading down the pit road, like we mentioned, Onesto is the slowest out on track. Oh, Blazer caught up to Miller and Dunham and Daly. Now Qualls is going to be added into that list. And Austin Talley's going to head down the pit road. Now Pote trying to catch up to it. Yeah, Onesto, let's see where that 62 is at for that Maserati. Oh, he's on pit road. That's, yeah, he's got to find a big pack. That's what Onesto's got to do. Find a big pack, have the draft catch up to him.
Yeah, I think he is going to have to wait till the next testing or practice session because we're running out of time here.
Yeah, we got less than 2 minutes to go. And the last thing I think we need to see is another wreck happening with these drivers as Alex May's headed down the pit road.
And also, this is the part of the testing session where people generally lose their pack, so I think we're not going to see a faster lap time than the one we're seeing right now.
You never know, though. Austin Talley is currently the fastest on track with a 44.694, as there's a 4-car pack of Lamas, Richie, Seth Cole, and Brody Talley. Brody Talley, he is 16th fastest, like his number. Very interesting, as DeMax is on pit road, but Blazer, Daly, and I believe the others stay out. Yep, they did. The big packs are going away as we nearly have 1 minute remaining in practice. Here's the question, Kris. Are we going to see any other faster cars, or is this going to be it for faster cars and Tally's got it?
Well, I think the people in the generally top 4, top 5 fastest, I think they might be able. I think they're gonna stay out, try to get that fastest lap time because they have a general shot at it. But then people who are lower than that, they don't have a shot, or they don't really have a shot, so they're probably going to go down pit road. But some of them are just probably just going to stay out just for the experience.
Yeah, and there is 8 cars that got into the 44s. And Spillman is the other one we did not mention. How about Glenn Spillman? We barely talked about him. He's 7th fastest with the 44.970. That's a good lap right there. And we got about 20 seconds left to practice. Let's see who's the closest here we can get to.
You never know. These testing sessions, the officials usually add more time onto them when it's supposed to be finished to let cars
they
finish.
will. And McCurry, I believe, will be the last one that will cross the stripe at this point of the practice. And right on the dot with 1 second left. Now the practice is over. They get another 44 minutes, or seconds, excuse me, to complete the lap that they were on. And that's what some of these drivers are here, including Dishwasher driving for Kris Wascher's car, the champion. Which we appreciate, Kris, for letting your brother do that.
No problem.
See, that's why, too. Spellman there, he is some fast. There's a 3-car pack. Are they going to get anything done? I doubt it. And they didn't count it. So it is going to be official. The 94 car, Austin Talley, will be the fastest car out on track. Now they're going to get the cars to head down the pit road and all that, and that's what Pollard III, the Volkswagen, is going to be doing, and now it is complete. Pollard III head down pit road, but there is your fastest car out on track. In the 94, Bill Elliott, McDonald's tonight car, Austin Talley. That's a pretty good lap, though, 44.694.
Oh, yeah, that's a really good lap.
Yeah, just to put it in, and now about another 3 seconds left, and then you'll see all the cars randomly disappear, and there they go. So now we will pause it right here and show you your official practice results, or I should say testing session results. It says practice on there, but there it is. Austin Talley is your fastest out on track, then followed by James Qualls, Tony Blazer, Kris Wascher, aka Dishwasher, I should say. I'm saying Kris because it's on there. Dylan Young, Michael Norman, Clint Spellman, and Michael Walton. They're all the guys that got a 44-second lap. Then Nick Smith in 9th and Eugene Max completing the top 10. And then 11th through 20th, you got Ian Dutta, Anthony Ritchie, Cody Lamas, Joshua Balkin, Kyle Sosnowski, Brody Talley, Alex May, Kyle Miller, Jessica Shelton, Seth Pohl. And then 21st to 28th was Jackie Tang, Stephen Pollard III. He wasn't really that fast with the 45.248, but 22nd fastest. It's not terribly bad, but the car does need some work. And then Cole Daly, Trent Dunham, Ainge Navarro, Anthony McCurry, Dylan Posey, and then the last car out on this testing session is 28th, Joseph Ernesto with a 45.887. So that car, they're going to be at the shop really testing this out and really fixing it up to see what they can do to, get that car stronger and all that. So, Kris, I want to thank you so much for being in the booth and allowing, like I said, Dishwasher for taking over for this testing session. And as like we mentioned, Kris will be in the 3rd testing session. So it should be very, very interesting. All right, thank you so much, Kris. We appreciate it.
No problem. I'll be glad to come in anytime.
Yeah, and enjoy the championship run. As Kris Wascher, your champion of Season 2, is going to be trying to defend his title in Season 3. So we'll see how that will go. Anyway, guys, thank you for watching. If you like this testing session, be sure to give it a like, comment your thoughts of where you finished and all that stuff. Well, where you were at, I should say. Subscribe, be a part of the NRSL by hitting that subscribe button on my channel. Also, if you want to sub to Kris's channel, be sure to sub to him. He's got the NCGMRS 500 coming very soon with the Daytona 500. I don't know why I said NCGMRS 500. Good fail. Yay! Daytona 500 for the Volkswagen World Cup Series in the NCGMRS. So be sure to check it out very soon.
And don't forget the NRSL Budweiser IndyCar Series. We're almost a quarter way through the season with Charles Jackson going out of that car. Now, Sean Harple, we're going to see how that rookie does in Texas coming up real soon.
Exactly. And also, don't be afraid to see me and Washer's Budweiser race as well, so Budweiser IndyCar Series race. So hop on over to that channel if you haven't seen it yet, and go ahead and watch amazingness. One last time, congrats to all the drivers who participated in Kris Wascher, and we will see you guys later on for our third and final testing session, and then Daytona, then the signups, and then the Daytona 500 final practice. So it should be very interesting. Once again, see you guys later.